and here for L2S F2 Esports. And well, I'm standing in again. Of course, I'm Zach Sweeney. I'm covering for IGA Esports, who can't make it due to some logistical issues with timings and the world clock changing and things like that have all affected him tonight. But nonetheless, we are back. We are here for one-shot qualifying at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, 2 races tonight in F2, a feature race and a sprint race. You can see Infamous currently P2 as he enters the hairpin. I've not had the chance to really talk through his lap much because of the getting the broadcast set up, but DRS wide open. He's jumped himself to second through the hairpin. Must have got an absolute stonker of an exit. He's currently neck and neck with DRS on the run to the line. He's got one more chicane to negotiate through turn 14 and 15. Got to be careful. He's lost a lot of time through there. A lot of people are going to jump in because of that. And Royal Harvey jumped all the way to second. Who's going to be pole? It is Beerus by nearly a second off. Wow. Beerus really taming the streets of Canada today, of the streets of Montreal today. How fast was that? That was incredible. Beerus a 1:18.4, Royal Harvey a 1:19.3, Lauren P3, Infamous P4, Landobot P5, John P6, The Slayer P7, DC P8, Sarge P9, Aces P10, Fanatic P11, Saf P12, Spoon in P13, Kings in P14, Chappie 15th, Central Flyways 16th, Golden Pickle 17th, and Ian 18th, rounding off the grid. So we're going to get underway very shortly for the feature race, which is hopefully going to be pretty interesting. Everyone's got to get their strategy. I'll be 1 second. And we are back. Just still waiting for everyone to load in, so not much has been missed at all. Do make sure to come and check out the stream, or if you are watching post-race, then welcome. Just waiting for people to load in. We'll get underway for the formation lap, and then the 50% feature race, I believe, followed by the sprint race, of course, which should be pretty interesting. Of course, it looks as though Harris is looking very dominant today, because that qualifying lap was just unsatiable, absolutely incredible. We are going straight to the lights, no formation lap at all, so we do go to 5 red lights here in Canada, and we're underway and racing. It's a great start from Royal Harvey, who already tries to pull alongside Beerus. He needs to get this done into turn 1. He goes around the outside. It'll be the inside for turn 2 if he can keep it, but Beerus is going to go all the way around the outside and further back. We've also got Landobot trying to get the power out of the Primo, but it looks like Royal Harvey is going to claim the position and take the lead of the race. But here comes Beerus back at him to the outside, going to back out of that one and think better of it, and probably for the best. He's got to use his pace later in the race. We've got him all over the back of him in the Dams car, all over the back of the MP Motorsport, of the man in front of him, but still single. Oh, they go, everyone so close together. We've got Infamous on the back of Beerus as well, but Beerus with a great run off that corner and coming down into turn 8. He's already claimed the lead of the race back, but can Royal Harvey come back at him? He's still got a long straight into the final chicane to go. He just needs to stay with him. Yeah, very much less prominent in these Formula 2 cars, and it is not going to be affecting him as much. He can follow so closely. You can see the top 3 separated by nothing. He goes a bit deep, so that's going to open the door for Infamous to get it up the inside. He just needs to drive off the corner, can't quite get it. No overtake, of course, in these Formula 2 cars. It's all down to the pure grunt and the slipstream propelling him down the straight. Here comes Infamous back up the inside of Royal Harvey down into turn 13 and 14. Beerus pulling away with every little bit of battling these guys do. Royal Harvey trying to go around the outside. There's a bit of contact still side by side. John Banter wants to have a look with these two. They're going to be 3 abreast on the run down into turn 1 as we finish lap 2. Infamous going to claim the position. The MP Motorsport guys going to go side by side. Landobot looking to get involved as well. We've got a 4-car fight here for P2. John and Lando still side by side. Can't quite get the power off the move, and oh, wow, that was an incredible full lap of side-by-side intense racing. Incredible stuff. Really putting on a good show for us already. 20 laps of the Montreal circuit, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve left to go, And this can get very spicy if the first couple of laps are being that good. Well, what does the rest behold? Oh, Roll Harvey, big slide coming out of there as I was talking. He's managed to keep it out the wall with pretty unscathed. I don't think he's picked up any damage. Just going to lose a couple of places side by side with Lauren, who's fallen very much off from P3. Again, Roll Harvey trying to recompose himself. He needs to recompose himself pretty quickly, otherwise he's not going to find himself getting back into the groove. He's got the Slayer all over the back of him. He's going to go for it up the inside. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. But Roll Harvey going around the outside, as he's proven to do on such an occasion. And that was an incredible move to hang on to P6. Needs to get back into the swing of it pretty quickly, though, otherwise he can be swamped up by pretty much everyone behind him. Needs to be careful not to lose that. But Roll Harvey hanging on to it once again, trying to get back past the Slayer, who's really parked it on the inside. Beerus showing his pace already, 21-3 in the race, even on the heavy fuel. Slayer half defensive, doesn't really know where to go, wants to go to the inside but doesn't want to open up the corner to the outside, so going to stick to the racing line. Goes it a bit deep. This is going to be Roll Harvey's chance if he can get the power down, but he can't. Big slide for Roll Harvey as he tried to make the move for P6 stick. Really not the best thing to be doing at all. We're going to be wearing his tyres out. He needs to get his head down, get his head back into the game. We've also got Landerbot and John Banter. He will have DRS, the drag reduction system, giving him the extra 20 kVh down this back straight and down the straight down and towards turn 13 and 14. It will help him a lot, and that will also help Roll Harvey on his quest, his venture towards the front of the grid once again. You can see how close these guys are, but he's spun again. Roll Harvey really not getting to grips with the Formula 2 car as much as he would have liked. There's going to be yellow flags through sector 2 and 3 because of that, and that is probably Roll Harvey well and truly, I'd say, out of the running, but don't count him out just yet. We've got Sarge on the back of Chappie, on the back of Fnatic, all fighting for P11 as well. Just such single file, wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper racing between these guys. It's incredible. We've got Landerbot and John. We've also got Lauren all over the back of him as well. We could have a three-way fight for third position. DRS wide open for Landerbot. He's in the slipstream. He's got the run maybe into turn 1. John goes defensive to the inside. Lando goes even deeper, looks to the inside, tries to bait John into a mistake. Isn't quite going to get it. Going to look for the cutback, but John parking it very intelligently on the apex to get the drive off the corner and keep Lando right behind as he enters turn 4 and 5. Got to be careful not to cut. Of course, this is where we saw Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton have a very controversial moment, it must be said, back in 2019. If you haven't seen that, then you'll definitely be living under a rock for the past 2 years, it must be said. But DRS wide open once again for Landerbot, who's still got Lauren on his tail. He's going to be looking to get them. If anything does happen, these guys need to be careful how they fight. They don't want to lose too much time in front. They don't want to lose too much time behind, because Lauren is there to pick up the pieces on the softs on an alternate strategy. So could be looking pretty interesting. Could he get it? Needing to maximise this exit if he wants any chance of getting him down into turn 13. DRS wide open. It's a lot more prevalent and noticeable in these cars as there is a lot less speed. So, you know, you're being propelled a lot more. It's actually not too dissimilar to Formula 1 cars in terms of raw top speed, I'm pretty sure. But Landerbot again needing to set up a good exit. Maybe he can replicate the move he tried a lap previously. John defensive sort of to the inside. Just being wary, being cautious, being on the safe side. We've also got DC up the inside, no, around the outside of Aces versus Kings. Still going to be side by side are the Carlin and the Trident cars again side by side, all the way on the run into turn 4 and 5. Going to be a very audacious send up the inside. Still going to be side by side. How they're managing this, I do not know at all, but they've managed to get it done. They've managed to keep it going. Can Aces versus Kings get it back up the inside? No, that's going to be DC up into 7th. Incredible stuff, and that is going to be reverse grid pole for Aces as it stands. Of course, anything can happen. He's got Spoony Dog right behind him who's going to want that reverse grid pole. Landerbot a lot closer to John Bantner on this particular occasion than he was a lap previously. Just needs a good exit off the hairpin and a good launch onto this back straight. You can see how close they are. We've also got the Slayer wanting to get in on the bit of the action as well. Have a slice of the cake. Another spinner further back. It looks like Kings has gone off further back. DRS wide open for Lando. It doesn't look like he's got the drive he would have wanted, so he's more under pressure from Lauren. He's more looking backwards than he is forward, as those softs are really starting to come into his own around the outside of the final chicane. Lando tries his hardest to keep it, but just can't. He's going to have the drive on the exit, though. This fighting is going to allow John to pull away ever so slightly, but Lando wants the piece. He wants the place back. Isn't going to get it, though, and this has allowed the Slayer to go and catch back up. Lauren goes in deep. Lando looks to the outside, has nowhere else to go. This could give the Slayer the look on the inside, but unfortunately won't carry enough speed and get the momentum up the inside. So Landabot down to 5th, Lauren up to 4th, and 1.2 seconds adrift from John Banter, who is driving a pretty nice race, catching Infamous slowly but surely, as we've got 3 drivers into the pits. Harvey into the pits, the man we've seen struggle just a little bit. We've also got the other Carlin of Ian fighting with the Chariots racing car in front, setting themselves up a good run. This is only for P15 as it stands. We'll go further back up to the grid, and it looks as though Beerus is completely checked out. He's taken a shop and he's grabbed his receipt and he has gone to check out. Incredible stuff, because 3.4 seconds already in this race. That's averaging probably about 0.67 a lap over the course of the 6 laps, probably more closer to about 5/10 a second. But into the pits does come Infamous. Wow, big moment between Lauren and John there. That was very much close to disaster between those two. Lauren very deep under brakes. John doesn't really know where to go. He's setting up a nice right, all the way to the right for turn 1. That's exactly what he's doing. We've also got Landabot close behind. We've got the Slayer close behind. Golden Pickle a little bit further behind, but still there if anything does happen. Don't forget, Lauren is on the alternate strategy, giving it to the soft guys still. So just goes to show he's got some good pace in this race. And we have got a couple of people watching. You guys did find the stream. Welcome. I didn't have time to put it into the... But in the DRS, can he get the move done? Trying into turn 8 isn't going to happen, unfortunately. So Lauren having to back out. He's caught up to John Banter a lot in the last couple of laps. 1.2 seconds to be exact in the last couple of laps. Is John going to come into the pits this lap, though? He seems to be struggling on those tyres. We've also got quite a few people catching up, as well as Lauren is merely just being held up behind the car. And that is certainly less than ideal, but he's got the DRS down this back straight. Is John going to come into the pits? He doesn't defend. Royal Harvey retired from the session. Lauren to the inside. Looks as though John's going to give him that. Is he coming into the pits? No, he's not. He's going to stay out. So still deciding to stay out. Is Ethan racing? No, Ethan isn't racing, unfortunately. Ethan doesn't do this one. Ethan does the APPF1, guys. But Ethan would probably fare pretty well against these guys, I would say. He is very quick when he wants to be. So into turn 5 and 6. No, turn 4 and 5, I should say. Got my turns wrong there. We've got Beerus into the pits as well. The race leader has come into the pits and has come out in P7 on the softs. Probably easily to the end, I would say. I would probably, heck my bets on that one. Comfortably to the end. He's come out importantly in clean air. Infamous has gained a lot with the undercut, though. Has gained a lot on those lap of fresh tyres. Of course, if you pit in while your rival's still out there on worn tyres, you're going to have the fresh rubber. You're going to be out the gate. You're going to be quick. You're going to be flying. And that's exactly what he's done. He's closed the gap to 1.6. Just not enough, unfortunately, to keep with Beerus. Crucially, would love to get in that DRS, but it looks as though Beerus is being unstoppable. We've got the Slayer, Landobot and John all behind, but it looks like John is going to decide to come in, as is Lando, as is the Slayer, all piling their way into the pits, and John's been given a 5-second time penalty. Certainly not ideal for him at all. So Lauren will take the effective race lead. Whether that is going to stay for very long is another story, but he's driving very well. So is there anything happening on track? It would be close between these three as they exit the pits, I'm sure. Look at them, very much piling their way out in single file. Landobot on the back of John. He's going to want redemption as he lost in the place to Lauren. John really fighting it, very, very close to disaster. Was Landobot there as he exited the pit lane. Nearly clipped the grass, but just managed to pipe it and get it bit in back to the racing line where he'd like it. So just trying to keep it clean in with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Only lost one driver. Beerus being given a 3-second time penalty. That could make things interesting. This could certainly throw a spanner into the works if Landobot suddenly gets a resurgence of pace or whatever and finishes within 3 seconds of Beerus. He could be stopped. So 3 seconds, 13 seconds for Sarge. Bloody hell. What has he been doing? He's been taking he's designed his own track layout, essentially, is what Sarge been doing. But we're at that quiet point. No one's really doing much at this stage in the race. It was a very chaotic start to the race. That was an incredible start to the race. I could do a couple of videos of drivers in their best laps. Yeah, I guess I could. Maybe. But into turn 1, Landobot on the back of John. This is only for P6, but an important part of the race to get done, because he needs to get in front when he can, not any time before. So on the back of John is Lando. Just needs to stay with him until the DRS detection point. This is John's time to... Appreciate that, James. Yeah, I might do. We'll definitely get a compilation of some of the best quality laps. It looks as though we have gone full course yellow. Not entirely sure what for. It looks as though Kings has retired from the race, unfortunately. So whether that's a full safety car, it looks as though to be a full safety car, as there is a yellow car coming out of the pit lane. It is a safety car, you can see by the timing light. So this has worked wonders for Lauren and for Golden Pickle, who so close to the pit lane. He broke so much later. Golden Pickle has jumped going into the pit lane. He didn't speed by doing it, and he's managed to get the job done. So fair play to him there. That was an incredible, I suppose you could say. But coming into the pits, he's going to come out ahead. Beerus is going to come out in front, but these guys are going to be right behind him. They're going to be on the super soft tyres. They're going to be on the very, very quick tyre. This is the softest compound, and it's to the end of the race. These guys are going to be ones to watch. Lauren with incredible pace. Golden Pickle with some incredible pace as of late. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these guys come through the field. They've come out in P3 and P4, so still right behind the two tyrants of Beerus and Infamous at the front. So this could get very, very spicy. We're not, counting anyone out just yet. This could get very, very interesting as they all file behind the safety car. So, well, the race is on pause. Everyone's having to file around at 40% race speed, or around about the speed of the safety car, whichever one is quicker. Or slower, I should say. It's kind of hard to go 40% race speed if the safety car can only go 20, but that's not the point. Ian being given a 5-second time penalty. He's going to retire, going to give up on this race, unfortunately. He's got the other race to go, so it can still be interesting. We'll have to wait and see for when the safety car is in. It looks as though it's going to go on for another lap or so. Just while we wait for everyone else to file around. So yeah, just got to keep it rolling, keep it moving, guys. And keep warming up the tyres, keep them in that nice little window for when it comes in next lap. Just know it was doom and gloom over the skies of Montreal just now. Could we see maybe some little bit of rain towards the end of this race? Could get spicy. Probably not long enough left in the race for it to get too bad, but if it comes, it'll definitely throw a spanner in the works. Looks at those safety car. He's going to stay out another lap, interestingly enough. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but just have to wait and see. It looks like we're waiting for the likes of Central Highway and Chappie at the back to close their way back up to the safety car. So, what is the current situation? We got Golden Pickle, we got Lauren, we've also got Sarge on the supers to the end of the race. Everyone else going to be on the softs. So how much of an advantage do these supers give in comparison to the softs? Can Beerus's raw speed make up for it? Safety car in this lap, we're going to find out in due time. So Beerus becomes the effective safety car. We're waiting for it to speed off into the pit lane. You can hear how eager he is. He's warming his tyres up. So he can control the pace. He can punch it between now and the timing line, but he has punched it. He's punched it early. Infamous gets off to a good start ahead of Golden Pickle, and Lauren with a bit of a shaky start. Crucially isn't under pressure from John behind, but Golden Pickle is going to be wanting to get off to a good start and fly past these guys. No moves down into turn one as of yet, but you can see the pace difference between the supers and the softs. He just needs to keep it clean, keep it consistent until the end of the race. He should be perfectly fine. And Lauren as well without a penalty. I didn't even realise he's not got penalties at all. So as long as he can keep it within 3 seconds of the guys in front, he doesn't even need to negotiate his way through. He just needs to chill. He needs to stay with them. That's all Lauren needs to do. Doesn't need any special anything. Just needs to stay with him. Stay with him. Keep the pace and use it wisely to the end. Infamous being given another 3-second time penalty for corner cutting infringements, unfortunately, so that could be him out of the running for the top position or even a podium at this rate, because everyone is just so close together. We got Landerbot on the back. We've also got a big something's happened here. That's Landerbot trying to negotiate his way through to some traffic between, I believe, John Banter trying to avoid Lauren in front. So Lauren not been off to the best of starts in this race. He hasn't got off to the best of restarts. We really anticipated him to be flying down this grid, but isn't doing that, unfortunately. That's Landerbot looking to the outside of John Banter. Can't quite make it stick. That is an audacious move to send John on the back. We've also got Golden Pickle on the back of Infamous. He needs to get this move done quickly, otherwise he won't be able to set off after Beerus, who's raw pace. He's really using his raw pace to propel him up this grid and really use it. Despite everyone else's advantage in terms of tyres, he is still flying ahead. So through turn 5 and ending sector 1, we've also got Landerbot on the back of John. He's fallen a little bit off Lauren, who's now found his pace, trying to get back into the swing of it quickly. DRS won't be enabled until the next lap, of course, because you need to wait 3 laps after the safety car's been in for drag reduction system to become enabled. It's sort of like a full race restart, more just a rolling start than a standing one, which is definitely something different. Infamous falling around 1.4 seconds out of the DRS of Beerus in front, so he needs to get back into that if he wants any chance as we go on to lap 16. But Golden Pickle just chilling behind, he's not too worried. He knows he's going to get the DRS in due time, and he's really closing through that final chicane. Don't know if he picked up a warning or what. Landobot getting himself past John Banter in the final chicane. DRS has been enabled. Will Golden Pickle even need it? No, he's not going to go for that, but Lauren with a fastest lap, now finally starting to find his pace. Purple to every sector and charging after everyone else. Chappie has retired from the session in the pit lane, so not too bad, and won't bring out any safety cars. But we've got 5 laps of this race remaining. Who's going to come out on top? Lauren found their pace. The tyres are in the window. This is where he's going to fly towards the front of the field, and he's closing. The more these two battle, the more he's going to close. When will he close? 1.2 is the gap. 1.3 is the gap. Just out of DRS, and John Banter picking up a 3-second time penalty. Can Infamous hang on? Can Golden Pickle get past? Will Lauren get into the DRS range? Yes, he will. No, he won't. The detection point is now. He's not going to be in DRS down this back straight, but Golden Pickle well and truly will be within DRS down this back straight. You can see just taking a tighter line in, a wider line in, taking a tighter line out to get a really good drive, and Infamous with an astonishing drive off that last corner. But DRS isn't going to be enough to launch the attack. Is Infamous left defenseless? He's closing, really closing, looks to the inside. It's just going to be a bit too late, so he needs to set up a good exit, as he's done the last couple of laps. Taps the Wall of Champions, could be a sign of things to come. Infamous to the inside, Golden Pickle looking to the outside of Turn 1. It's going to be a good move to make if he can make it stick. Use the brakes to carry the speed around the outside, and that's exactly what Golden Pickle's going to do. But Infamous isn't finished just yet. He had a look around the outside, but Golden Pickle into P2, and Lauren now well and truly within DRS range, so Infamous could find himself going very much backwards as opposed to forwards, and just needs to stay within 3 seconds of the guys in front, and he'll be perfectly fine. John Banter looking to get past Giano, but he just cannot find the gap to niggle his way through, just, you know, sneak his way through and get that move done, but he just can't find the gap. We've got Sarge on the back of Aces as well, down towards turn 8, looks to the inside, isn't going to be able to brake hard enough, but Sarge on the super softs, you would expect him to be flying at this stage in the race. We've got John on the back of Lando, Lauren, oh, Golden Pickle goes in very deep. That could give Infamous the run on the exit, but he's just not going to be able to get the run he needs. And Infamous' saving grace is the fact he's just gained DRS off Golden Pickle and could launch a counter attack. That's exactly what he's doing. He's closing. Golden Pickle to the outside, Infamous to the outside. Who's going to come out on top? Golden Pickle trying to keep it on the inside, but Infamous going to squeeze him out to the outside, claim the racing track. And Lauren with a great run is going to swamp up a compromised Golden Pickle, and could even swamp up a compromised Infamous if he gets his cards right to the inside, trying to get the move done. He claims the racing line. There's Golden Pickle trying to do it. The two tyrants on the super softs battling it out, but they need to work together. They're running out of time, they're running out of opportunities, so Lauren, probably the quicker of the two, needs to launch the attack on Infamous, and he needs to launch the attack now because he's just picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, so it's all for track position. Beerus is checked out. The lead of the race is pretty much solidified at this point. Only 3 laps left, and John Banner picking himself up another 3-second time penalty. Golden Pickle on the back of Lauren, who's on the back of Infamous. This has been the fight for P2 we've been watching for the past 5 laps or so since the safety car restart. But who is going to come out on top out of these 3? Probably not Infamous with his penalty, but Lauren and Golden Pickle both showing some great pace as it stands. Infamous a little bit too deep, so is Lauren, so he needs to carry the speed, use the momentum. Golden Pickle really struggling with pace off that launch off the hairpin. Really isn't a strong suit one bit, but Lauren on the back of Infamous, he needs to get the run, needs to set up the good sequence of corners to enable him to propel himself up and into P2, because he's really used that backwards momentum, carried it with him. With Beerus setting the fastest lap, even on 11-lap old soft tyres, just goes to show his pace. We've got Golden Pickle on the back of Lauren. Is he going to go for the move? Is he going to work with him onto the penultimate lap of the race? 19 of 20, 2 laps to go, and it's all coming down to the wire between the podium sitters of Beerus, Infamous, Lauren, and the contender of Golden. Left to go, counting them down. Yeah, and he is so close, but Infamous really found a new of pace. Got Landobot slowly closing in as the super softs do start to wear off. You know, they will degrade as well. They're not invincible, even if they're end of the race. They're not invincible, and they will still wear off. Coming onto the straight for the penultimate time. Will Golden Pickle think, well, if you're not going to go for the move, I'll go for the move and get himself up the inside of Lauren? Or is he still going to attempt to work with Lauren? We've seen him work with him for a couple of times. Lauren just out of the DRS range. If he can carry the momentum. Has he got DRS? Yes, he has. Just needs to get a good run of corners and catch Infamous. But I don't think either of them are too bothered per se, because he has got significantly more time penalties than those behind him. So just needs to... doesn't want to send anything, but Golden Pickle now picks himself up 3 seconds as we are onto the final lap. So this is now his hammer time. He needs to crunch down and get those positions, because if he doesn't put out 3 seconds, he's not going to keep any of these positions. Landobot as well, 3 seconds back. He hasn't got any penalties, so as long as he can catch as much as he can, he's going to be in a very good position as Lando. Maybe even onto the podium. We'll have to wait and see in around about 10 corners time, as this could get very, very spicy. Lando currently sits P5, could have a chance at the podium. These guys up in front with penalties. They've been fighting so hard. Lauren falling off the back of Infamous. Will Golden Pickle go for the move? He's not going to get the position on the timing screens, but he can definitely get the podium on track in the slipstream, in the DRS, down towards turn 8. Needs to clip the apexes, needs to set up the good runs. Beerus has checked out in front, as I've alluded to many a time. Is Golden Pickle close enough to send it into the hairpin? He looks, but isn't quite going to get it done. Very much later on the brakes, looks to the outside, tries to carry the momentum, but can't get the move done. He gets a big slide. That's Golden Pickle off and into the grass, and that's on the final lap. That is a mistake you don't want to make at any time, let alone on the final lap. And this is Landobot pretty much secured onto the podium, so long as he can keep it there, and he's probably secured into a good P2 position from P4. Beerus takes the win of the Canadian Grand Prix ahead of Infamous, who will come across the line in P2. Lauren will take P2, but it's only short-lived, because here comes Lando to take the both, and Lauren into P3 with John Banter P5, Spoondog P6, who's going to get jumped by Aces versus Kings with a lack of penalties. Central Flyway P8, Staff in P9, and Sarge in P10. Fnatic across the line with Golden Pickle crawling across the line in P11. Big shame, massive heartbreak for Golden Pickle, who almost had such dominant pace towards the end of the stage, apart from Beerus. Incredible stuff. So the driver of the day going to Central Flyway, who had a quiet race, but definitely a good drive up to where he finished. And the race rundown, and as you can see, the Dams celebrating on the podium. But after an incredible 20 laps of racing, Beerus takes a dominant win ahead of Landobot, who jumped with time penalties. Lauren in a P3 with Infamous rounding off the grid. Top 4 in P4, Aces in P6, Spoondog P7, Central Flyway P8, Saf P9, Sarge P10, Golden Pickle P11. From 17th, still a remarkable improvement. Just a shame he couldn't be fighting for the podium as he bottled it coming off the hairpin. DC in P13 with GT Fnatic P12, the Slayer P14, Chappie P15, Ian 16th, and Kings and Harvey both retiring from the race. Unfortunately, a few retirements, but we've still got the sprint race left to go, so it's not all over just yet. So we're going to have a short break, and then we'll jump straight back into the action with the sprint race. So we're going to go straight into the sprint race actually, so no break whatsoever. I haven't even got a chance to take a sip of my tea that's now going cold, which is unfortunate, but I'll quickly have a sip when I can. We're going straight into the action. Reverse grid race. The top 8, of course, reverse. So if you finished 8th, you start pole. And if you finish first, you start 8th. So 3 seconds till we get underway. And everyone lining up. No formation lap, of course, for some strange reason, but we do go to the 5 red lights. Everyone lined up. It is a UNI Virtuosi on pole, and we go green for the sprint race. It's a great start from the man in P2 already alongside, and it's a great start from John, who's already propelled himself up the inside. 3 abreast into turn 1 between those guys, and John claiming the lead of the race. There's Central Flyway looking to go around the outside. We've also got Sweeney stuck on the inside. The 2 Tridents going side by side on the run towards turn 4. They're still going to be side by side. He's going to look to the inside, but the Prema going to back out of that one, and probably for the best. Lauren finding himself up a couple of positions on this opening lap as well. No, he's only up a couple indeed, but we've also got Aces versus Kings up a position. He's going to be looking to having to defend from Spoon, who's right up behind him and looking to the outside for turn 8. It's going to be on audacious move. Thinks better of it as the track does tighten there. Infamous on the back of them as well. Lauren on the back, Lando on the back, Sarge on the back, as Beerus has been really swamped by a couple of people. Not too sure, very strange from Beerus, not something you often see, but you can see all funneling their way through. Saf looking to the inside, he's under pressure from a lot of people. There's a bit of wheel banging going on behind, side by side. Those 2 go, Fanatic and Raw Harvey battling it out all the way to the end. They're going to be 3 abreast on the exit. Up in front though, we've got Sarge looking to get past Lando, but Lando to the inside. He's going to be stuck on the inside, and that's not going to be the best. We've got Spoony Dog getting himself past Aces versus Kings to the inside. Very nicely done, and up into the podium places. But can Aces versus Kings get the counter attack back on him? We've also got Infamous on the back of Aces, who wants to get himself on the podium. Down the inside goes Aces, but Infamous soars around the outside. It'll be the inside for turn 2 if he can keep it. Needs to run him out of track. Yellow flags reset the one. Someone's had an off. It looks like J Sarge and DC have both had an off, but there goes Infamous up the inside and claims the position from Aces. And Lauren now going to try and make the most of a compromised Aces and look to the inside of the man in the Trident. Looks to the inside, bit of contact between the 2, can't pull off the move unfortunately. John Banter soaring away in front though with some newfound pace. I don't know where it comes from. 14 laps of this race, of course. It's a long way to go. Do not write anyone off at any particular stage, because it is a long way to go. Lauren with a big lockup has to resort to the runoff. This is going to give Lando the run he's been waiting for, and he's going to go to the inside and claim that position. But we've also got Beerus, the man, the tyrant, the absolute legend around the circuit, looking to get. He's going to go for a cutback, try and get the power. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to have to run on both of them. He's going to have to thread the needle because he's got Lauren on his left-hand side. He's got Lando right in front of him. Really boxed in between the 2. He doesn't know where to go. There's space on the inside. No, he's not. Lauren to the outside of Lando into the final chicane. He's going to think to pick his fight. Lauren again just, resorting to the runoff area. Going to squeeze Beerus off the track though. This is the heat of racing that you really like to see. There goes Beerus down to the inside to try and claim it. He's going to go around the outside with an audacious move late on the brakes. Uses the track he has on the exit, but he goes in a bit deep. There's Lauren back up the inside. This is only for P8, but these guys are so fast, and they need to negotiate their way through, because if they want any chance of winning this race, they need to be the dominant force, carrying the stride towards the front of the field once again. But Beerus up into P7, looking to get on the back of Lando, and that's exactly what he needs to do. And the Slayer on the back of Golden Pickle, who's made up a few places, as he's made up I believe 1 place, so is he, and he's made up 4, roll up 5 as well. So a lot of people making progress on these opening laps. Lap 3 of 14, of course, DRS has been enabled. Beerus is going to have DRS, and so is Spoony on the back of Infamous, who's on the back of Central Flyway. These guys go neck and neck. He's going to send it up the inside, lick it, stick it, send it, and gets it stopped. Central Flyway leaving him to drive around the outside, but can't complete the move. So Spoony Dog is going to have a look on a compromised UNI Virtuosi car to the inside. DRS wide open. We've got Aces versus Kings looking to get involved as well. He wants a slice of the cake, doesn't know where to go. He's got the overspeed on Central Flyway. He's going to follow Spoony through on an open door, but there goes Central Flyway looking around the outside. The gap's going to close though. He gets a bit sideways. He's done a Magnus and he's into the wall, and that's him out of the session. One mistake, and that is how crucial it is. And the Slayer 5-second penalty. We've got a virtual safety car, so race is neutralised. everyone having to adhere to a 40% race speed delta and having to back off just a little bit. No overtaking, of course, full course yellow, but the central flyway, easy mistake to make. Don't know what he was expecting, to be honest, trying to send it around the outside. But, you know, people will be people. That was an easy mistake to make under power, and that is unfortunate to see him out of the race. He was fighting like a champion. He was fighting like a gladiator to keep that position. But we go back under green flag racing. Roll Harvey been given a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car conditions. Not something you want at all. Drive-through penalty, probably the harshest penalty other than a stop-go you can receive. And obviously disqualification, but that's a thing entirely in itself. Beerus already passed Landobot, and on the back of Aces, the defense to the inside, but we've seen Beerus go around the outside before. He's going to do it again. He's going to use the brakes, carry the momentum into the between the two. It'll be the inside for this little kink that leads onto the straight. It's going to be the outside. Spoon trying to give the DRS to Aces on the inside to try and help prolong this battle for as long as he can to feed him to the Sharks, but it looks as though Beerus' straight on speed is superior to the outside and doesn't even need to claim the apex. He takes it anyway, and Spoony Dog picks himself up a 3-second time penalty for good measure. Lauren hanging on to P7 as Royal Harvey's into the pits to serve his drive through. Wants to get it over and done with, it seems. But these guys still duking it out. They're going to be duking it out all the way to the end of the race. Beerus on the back of Spoony. And into turn 5, Spoon goes very, very deep into that corner. That's going to allow Beerus to set up a nice little cutback as he goes purple to the first sector. As well does Beerus. That was a lovely little cutback to get the move done. Incredible stuff, and Ace is going to get the most of it as well. He's going to find himself up the inside of Spoon, and that is what you can gain from letting people through, is you can follow them through. But Ace doesn't get the most ideal exit coming off the corner, so to the outside goes Spoon. It won't be the first time Ace has been done around the outside. Is he going to let it happen, or is he going to take the track away? He's going to claim the track, leaves a bit of door open in case Spoon wants to send it up the inside, and just plays the safe game, but he's not going to have the best runs. To the inside goes Aces, to the outside goes Spoon. Lando languishing in the background as well. We've got the languishing Lando, you could say, but Spoony to the outside. Ace is very deep under brakes to hang on to it. Bit of contact, takes the track away. Very nicely done. Landobot going to make the most of a compromised Spoon who's been put into the wall. Interestingly enough, not sure what happened there, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see through turn 1 and turn 2. Ace is under pressure from Lando. Up 6 of 14, nearly halfway there already with the sprint race. Ace is maybe working with Lando to try and catch Beerus in front. It will be a very tough ask because it is, of course, Beerus, and we know how quick he's been around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So down into turn 8 and through 9. Is Lando going to go for the move into the final chicane? We'll probably have to wait and see. He's going to have some good overspeed. Aces goes a bit deep into the corner, unfortunately. That's not going to give him the most optimised run onto the straight. He's got overspeed, he's closing, looks to the inside. It'll be tough under brakes, but he's going to go for it. Lando to the inside and takes that position away from Aces and up into P4. So Lando up to P4, looking to chase after Beerus, who's already on the back of Infamous. Just goes to show how dominant this pace is from the tyrant that is Beerus. He's really set the field alight. Yellow Flash, who set the one. What's happened there? It looks as though Sav has gone off further back. Quite unfortunate, to be honest. Sarge all over the back of Sav, who's done a Sebastian Vettel and going to be compromised. So Sarge cleanly up the inside. It looks as though Saf has been given a bit of wing damage. He's going to cut straight across the track, nearly in front of Sarge there, nearly took him out. And again, as he rejoins, don't really know what Saf is doing there. He's more of a hazard than anything. He's now trying to take out DC as DC puts him in a wall and Saf has retired. That is certainly not what you want on Showcase. for a league that is held so highly regarded. Saf, well, we'll just leave that one in the books for now. Golden goes in a bit deep. That's going to allow Ian up the inside. Infamous now on the back of Beerus. Beerus has managed to get his way through, but can Infamous launch a counter-attack? John Banter in front, and he needs to get himself chasing after him, so maybe Infamous should stick with Beerus and chill with him and drive in the DRS towards the front of the field and maybe have a little look at John Banter if he can stay with him. But the pace of Beerus is unmatched. He is really flying in this stage in the race, and just tonight in general he's been rapid and overall just incredible, consistent, fast, picking his moments. Beerus has just been the ultimate driver tonight. So DRS wide open for Aces. He's still on the back of Lando, same with Infamous. He's still on the back of Beerus. Can DRS keep him within the loop? So Safkov has left the session, and probably don't blame him, to be completely honest. Not being the best of nights for him. Sarge goes in a bit deep. This is going to open the door for Golden Pickle, the man who was fighting so closely for a podium in the last race, but had one hand on his trophy. Beerus been given a 3-second penalty, but Golden Pickle had one hand on the trophy last race, couldn't quite convert, and he's now fighting for P10 in this race. He's on the back of P9 and 8, and Sarge is on the back of Ian. Golden Pickle definitely been given a warning through there, I'm sure, as we see Spoon into the pits. Here comes Sarge to the inside of Ian, licks it, sticks it, sends it under brakes into turn 1, claims the racing line away from Ian, doesn't even give him the chance on the outside, doesn't want to take that risk, rightly so, takes the track away from him, and very nicely done from Jay Sarge to get himself up into P7. Ian and Golden Pickle both on his tail though, hot on his heels. And this is the closest battle on track. So Sarge on the back, and Ian going to set up a Beerus cutback. Can he convert though? Not quite. And to the inside, can he convert fully this time? Yes he can. To the outside, bit of contact with the wall. And Pickle is going to get an incredible cutback on the both of them. Ian going to follow Sarge through on an open door. But Golden Pickle going to go around the outside. He's managed to make the most. There's Yellow Flash who set the 3. And that Pickle down the inside on Sarge. He's going to leave him to try around the outside, but he gets a nice little cutback, and he's done a central flyaway. Golden Pickle has brought out the safety car. He's brought out the full course safety car at a similar time that was last race. So full course safety car out with 5 laps left to go. Golden Pickle had done a central flyaway coming off the chicane. He's going to leave this probably out of embarrassment, what I would say. Everyone's going to file into the pit lane then. Unless they don't need to. Do they not need to for the sprint race? I'm not entirely sure. I should probably write myself up with the rules, but the race leader of John Banter. We'll see if he comes into the pit for this lap. But I'm guessing they don't need to, because the majority of them went to softs. And he's going to stay out, so he's not going to come into the pits. So he's just going to file his way around. Is anyone actually going to come into the pits? Lauren is going for the interesting strategy. Actually going to bite the bullet, come into the pits and take the free pit stop. So, interesting strategical choice from the guys over at Campos. But it could work. It worked last time. It's a much slower pit stop in a Formula 2 than it is to Formula 1 though, so might cost him a lot more positions than he would like, but it could be worth it. So the safety car will be out probably for about 2 laps or so. I would say they need to get underway quickly, otherwise we're not going to have much time left for any actual green flag racing. Which would help if we can get some green flag racing underway. Aces versus Kings given a 5-second time penalty for contact with the Lando bot. He was having such a good race up until this point as well. So big shame, unfortunately. So I'm going to guess the safety car is going to be in the end of the next lap. So we can't exactly have 1 lap under safety car. So for sure, definitely going to be under the next safety car. Where's Lauren in comparison to the rest of the field? He's got the rest of this lap to catch up. He needs to be quick. He needs to be very quick indeed. Pick up the pace a little bit. Try and chase after. So the race on hold. Probably the rest of this lap. Lauren, yeah, he's going to catch up pretty comfortably, I would say, so it shouldn't be too bad. DC given a 3-second time penalty for warning safety car in this lap, so Lauren has timed that to perfection when it comes to timing. That was showing up late to a party, very much so. We are going to go green for the final 2 laps of this race. John Banter leads ahead of Beerus and Infamous close on their tails as well. Landobot languishing in the background. We've also got Lauren, Sweeney and DC all on the super softs, looking eager and looking feisty. They want to have a chance maybe at a podium if they can get off to a good launch. Fresh softs are going to be so quick in comparison, but they haven't got much to get the job done. John Banter becoming the effective safety car. Can back the field up all the way to the timing line if he so wishes. When is he going to punch it? He can't punch it, he can't then stop, but he's going to punch it as soon as he leaves the chicane, and Beerus has preempted that very nicely. He's got a good launch as well as the race leader, and we go back under green flag racing. Then we're on to lap 13 or 14, the penultimate lap. 2 laps of racing. Can John hang on from Beerus? We've also got everyone else trying to funnel their way through. Beerus all over the back of John though. Between these two, this is going to be a fight for the ages. Beerus wanting to take the double in the reverse grid race as well, but John wanting to take the victory, and I do not blame him if he's going to hang on and park the bus with that car in front and make that as wide as possible, take up every little tiny centimetre of track he can to prevent Beerus getting through. Beerus just needing to wait until we can get a good launch. No DRS will be enabled, of course, because there's not going to be enough time after the safety car. Lauren trying to cut through the field as well, get the move done on Spoondog up the inside. He needs to send it, he needs to get this move done now, so he's going to go for it. Isn't going to convert though, unfortunately. We've also got Beerus on the back of John Banter. He's going to have a look into the hairpin. He needs to get it done. It won't be as crucial as it would be with DRS. Up the inside for the race lead. Can he get it done? Yes, he can, but John around the outside. He's going to fight it as long as he can. It'll be the inside, it'll be the outside for the chicane. He's going to have to tuck back in, but he will have to slipstream on the run towards the chicane. Beerus punching the hole through the air, and John not tucking into the slipstream. He's confident in the speed, but I'm not entirely sure why he moved so early. That could have lost him the race. Beerus up into the lead, and John left to fight over the scraps. It looks more like a race for second than anything now, as Beerus is going to chuck off into the distance, really. But 1 more lap to go. We'll have to find out. Anything can happen. Spoondog under pressure from Lauren. oh no, Spoondog under pressure from Ian, I should say, as Lauren is a couple of seconds back, but goes purple to the final sector on his fresh, super soft compound tyres. And yeah, not long left to go in this race. Not everyone really getting off to the most feisty starts, but there's Lauren up in front of Spoondog and on the back of Ian. Was it worth pitting for the supers? He only had 2 laps to make the moves done, so he hasn't really gained or lost much, in all fairness to him. But Infamous on the back of John, who hasn't got a time penalty, so John will take the race win as long as he can keep it clean for the last couple of corners. This could be interesting. Beerus pushing as hard as he can in hopes that John makes a mistake, but he just needs to keep it clean for a couple more corners. He will reign victorious. There's Sarge to the outside of Aces. This is for P5. Aces keeping it to the inside. Sarge trying around the outside, but he's going to get the track taken away from him and just try and tuck in. But he's got the run to the outside. Infamous on the back of John. You've also got Sarge to the outside on the run to the line. This is going to be side by side for the final corner. Too bad it's not for the race lead. To the outside goes Sarge. He is going to send it. It won't amount to much. J Sarge given a 3-second time penalty. Across the line, Beerus takes the double, but John Banter will be the race winner ahead of Landobot as well, who takes another astonishing P2 with penalties. The lack of penalties really helping him there, and Beerus down to P3. Still a double podium. Very, very good. And 2 on-track victories. Infamous P4 ahead of Lauren, Aces, Sarge, Ian, Spoon, DC, Rowe and Chappie a few moments later. And that is going to conclude 2 races tonight. And lifting the trophy. So John Banter takes the win ahead of Landobot in P2, Beerus in P3 rounding off the podium. Infamous P4 again. Yeah, 2 P4s, not too dissimilar. But nonetheless, Lauren in P5, Aces P6, Sarge P7, Ian P8 and Spoon in P9, DC in P10. Will Harvey P11, Chappie P12, Golden Pickle P13, Kings, Saf, Fnatic, Slayer and Central Fire rounding off the grid. But nonetheless, guys, that is going to conclude 2 astonishing races tonight for L2S Formula 2. I've been Zach Sweeney. These guys have produced some incredible racing. If you have enjoyed, do make sure to leave a like and go and say thank you to all the admins that have put on the show. And, well, it's been a pleasure to commentate you guys. I'll be back probably at some point. Hopefully for you guys, IGA is going to be back next week. But I'll see you next time. Goodbye.